Everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? Boy, I feel like I'm craning my neck again looking up at y'all. Sorry. I hope all is well with everyone, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to today. Well, Chris and I are sitting here at Cafe Island, which is our island here in our kitchen, and we're fixing to have a little lunch. And then we thought we might drive through one of the battlefields that we haven't shown you, and that is Fredericksburg battlefield, the Battle of Fredericksburg. I am not very well versed on the Battle of Fredericksburg, but that doesn't mean that we can't ride you all through and show you a few plaques and so on and see what's what down there in Fredericksburg. So I just wanted to come to you and kind of give you an introduction while I'm looking at you, and also say my final words while I'm looking at you, which may seem odd, but I don't like to do my final words behind the camera. I like to be able to look you in the eyes, so to speak, when I say it. So I know I'll be yammering behind the camera once we get in the car, so let me just say that I hope you all are faring okay as we go through this, this isolation and this very anxious time in our world. Y'all, as I always say, keep looking up, keep having faith that we will get through this. This too shall end, it shall pass, it will pass, and we will get back to some sort of whatever normal ends up being, So, but I have faith that we will get through it. So anyway, let me just say that I hope that those of you who are suffering or struggling with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. Hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love y'all to bits, to bits, to bits, hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all of that said, I'll just say, come along with us for another little ride through our countryside and maybe a little battlefield down there in Fredericksburg, Virginia. But I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye. See you behind the camera in just a minute. Okay, everybody, here we are. We've just come down into downtown Fredericksburg. Here is the University of Mary Washington's, some of their soccer fields and lacrosse fields. I think it's lacrosse and not soccer.
Oh, probably both.
Probably both. And their tennis courts are over there. And it's lovely. Their campus is quite sprawling and, spread out around the whole downtown area. Here's more
track over
Battleground Athletic Complex. There you go. More fields. Like a field house here. Chris and I haven't been down this road in, I don't even know. University Tennis Center. That's what that says there. Huh. I didn't know we had a tennis center, or that the university had a tennis center. I'm learning with you guys. Look at that. Universe something. I don't know what that was. Anyway, we're giving you more of a tour of our downtown area. We have not been on in years. Houses for sale. I have no clue how much it would be. Oh, they refurbished this one really nice. Look at that. Wow. All right, here we are. We're coming out to Lafayette Boulevard here. We're going to pull in here for just a second. Our visitor center is not open right now, or I would take you in and show you inside the visitor center, but obviously with our shutdown, you know, our visitor center is not open. But there it is right there, Fredericksburg Battlefield Visitor Center. You can see the sign. Chris and I have been in there before. I have an uncle who really likes the Civil War, and I picked him up some books and whatnot. There it is, right there. Fredericksburg Battlefield Visitor Center. And it sits right beside this, it's a national, Fredericksburg National Cemetery. And you can kind of see how it's kind of tiered going up the hill here. I've never been up there, but from what I read, you get a really good vantage point if you go all the way up there and look across this area here and back toward town of the Battle of Fredericksburg. Now we're going to go across the road here a little bit. This is what was called originally Sunken Road for those Civil War buffs out there. In this whole area now. But now, of course, it's like we have, you know, a little bit industrial now. There's a little place, I don't know where it is. I guess it's back behind us where you could go buy American flags all the time. Yeah, back there. So we're going to go across the road here. This is a new road that they've put in the last decade called the Blue-Gray Parkway. Be back when we go into the battlefield. I did do a little bit of research and looked back on some pictures and, you know, about the battles. All of it, none of this was here. This was all cleared land. And up at the top of the cemetery hill back there is, and back up over further a little bit was where all of the Confederate Army had their cannons and their guns, and they slaughtered the Union Army when they came into Fredericksburg and through Fredericksburg. The South won this battle. Here we go into the Battle of Fredericksburg's battlefield here. This is Lee's Hill.
You can walk up there. It's a little path that's way up on that hill.
Yeah, and you can walk up, and these ladies are social distancing, I guess.
Like I said, this was all open.
All of this was open. Okay, and Chris just reminded me that 200,000 soldiers, 200,000? 200,000, wrap your brain around that, fought in this battle. Wow, that's a lot of people in this battle. Check out the trees. Look how beautiful this is, though, now. But back then, it was
Just
open land.
No trees.
I'll stop and read a placard if we come up upon one here. Not easy terrain to trek either. Look, it's like ravines down in here, and you think there's, I don't know what that house was. You know, you think these guys had to have been pretty hardy beings. You know?
The Confederate line went all the way from the battlefield. The cemetery way down as well.
Of course, if you didn't hear him, said that the Confederate line went from the battlefield where we just were all the way down through here and way further down than this. Okay, this is Hallasan Hill. Do we have a placard? Yeah, there's a placard there. Why don't I go out and see what that is? Let's see. There's somebody in the car, but hopefully they'll stay there. Okay, we're just leaving. Okay, let me go over here and read about this. See what's what. I don't know. I guess this talks about wherever this path leads here, huh? Big gun at Hallasan Hill. 2 weeks of Union delay before the Battle of Fredericksburg gave the Confederates time to bring up the large cannons rarely seen on other battlefields in Virginia. The sturdy gun emplacement above you protected a huge siege gun capable of firing a 30-pound shell nearly 2 miles. Wow. 10 men operated the cannon. Wow. Typically, a gun like this would fire a round every 5 minutes. As they awaited battle, cannoneers, I guess, cut down trees and carefully calculated the range to likely areas of Union attack. When the fighting started on December 13, 1862, the Confederate guns here on Hallasan Hill fired rhythmically on Union columns in front of Maury's Heights. Across crossfire from Hallasan Hill added horror to an already impossible Union task. Wow. This is a 1930s view from Hallasan Hill, before trees grew to obscure it. The position here was one of dozens selected by Lee's officers in and around Fredericksburg. Artillerists identified likely points of attack and then located their guns to fire on those places from several directions, creating horrific killing zones. Wow. Let's walk up there, huh? I'm gonna walk up the hill. Oh, here they are. Confederate artillery defense. About noon on December the 13th, 1862. Wow. Cool, huh? Now picture this with no trees. Oh, these are a lot bigger. This one especially is huge. Wow. That one's not so big, but this one sure is. Very neat, huh? I can't even imagine. Here's Chris in the car. I'm gonna go down and hop in the car and we'll continue on. Okay, we're continuing on here down. Buddy's walking their little pups. And, you know, Chris was just saying you can still see the trenches over here. And this whole road, he said, okay, 70. Continuing on here down, but he's walking their little pups. And, you know, Chris was just saying you can still see the trenches over here. And this whole road, he said 77,000 Confederate soldiers lined this road. And then 120 defending against 120 Union soldiers. But because the Confederates had the high ground, there's Confederate trenches right there, had the high ground, the Confederates wiped out the Union, you know, pretty succinctly because of the high ground and because they had that time, you know, to prepare for the battle. It says on the placard over there, honey, that they had like 2 extra days because of some delay with the Union Army. They had 2 days to prepare. So they had, you know, time to get their cannons into place and everything situated. You know, more trenches over here. I mean, it doesn't look like much when you're looking at the trenches like this, but if you can just picture this whole area, no trees, wide open, you know, and thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers at encampments, and you just, what that is, Fredericksburg Campaign, there's a placard. You know, you just, it just gives me cold chills to think about it. And wow. Okay, we've kind of gotten to a main road here, and we're gonna go across here. Here's a big placard here. I don't know whether there's all kinds of cars parked here. I wonder if I could get out and go read that real quick. We'll read it on the way back. We got to come back out. There you go. There's a big old field. That's probably how everything looked around here. Confederate line, still the Confederate line. I don't even know how many miles. What, maybe 4 or 5 miles? A lot of mileage of Confederate lines. Again, the parks really don't mess with, like, if there's trees falling. They leave everything alone unless it's, you know, crossing the road. Look at that canopy of trees. Just from last week, look how many leaves have come back on the trees, y'all. So pretty. Beautiful day here. Not a cloud in the sky. it's probably supposed to get up to 63 today, but it's not there yet. It's kind of chilly.
So more trenches.
Oh, more Confederate.
Jackson's line.
Oh, this is Jackson's line.
So that's Stonewall Jackson.
And that would be Stonewall Jackson. His burial place is, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
See the trenches are very pretty in this area.
Really are. Okay, we're coming up here and we're going to turn around and we're going to stop at some of the placards on the way back. We're coming as far as you can go. This is the Union Breakthrough.
Yeah, they broke through Stonewalls.
And we'll stop there in a minute, but we're going to go on down here, and Chris said they've got to do a U-turn down here. Honest to goodness, you guys, I myself have never been on this road. Chris used to ride his bicycle when he first moved to the area, and this was one of his main routes that he used to ride, so he knows this well. I don't know why we've never been over here, really, but we haven't. And here we're coming to the end of the road here. This is Prospect Hill here, and this is the end of the Battlefield Road. So, a lot of people are obviously taking advantage of this pretty day and getting out and learning a little bit of history and doing their exercising. We are still these cannons and go up here to these placards and see what's what. No parking here. No. Okay. Let me go up here. It says Jackson on the field, December 12th and 13th of 1862. A little breezy, sorry about that. Right down there. Okay, Dead Horse Hill. The crescent-shaped earthworks in front of you protected the 14 guns of Lieutenant Colonel Reuben Lindsay Walker's artillery battalion, which held this position on December 13th, 1862. Prior to the assault of Union infantry, artillery blanketed this hilltop with a savage fire. So many artillery horses, oh, I don't want to hear that, perished in the bombardment. Oh, that local residents nicknamed this ridge Dead Horse Hill. Oh, my Lord have mercy. Jackson holds Prospect Hill. Wow. Pause it there so you can take a screenshot if you want. You are standing on the right flank of the Confederate Army held by Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson's Corps. His 35,000 troops spread along a 1-mile front, some in the woods, some in the fields, some on ridge tops, some in swampy bottoms. In front lay the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad. Some of Jackson's troops used the railroad embankment as ready-made earthwork. So there you go. Cool. Look at that beautiful tree, y'all. Wow, that was here back then, I would say. I could see fully half the whole Yankee Army, reserves and all. It was a grand sight seeing them come in position this morning, but it seemed that host would eat us up. A Confederate artilleryman. Wow. Very neat. You can see some more cannons over there. All right, we're going to head on down here and see what's what. Kind of working backwards. More placards. Okay, here we are with a couple more placards here. This is where the Union breakthrough happened. Again, I'll just kind of pause here for just a second so you can take a screenshot if you want. And death of Maxie Greige. Okay, see that pyramid over there? Right over there? Well, apparently it was usually thought of as a Union monument. The large pyramid in front of you was, in fact, erected by the Confederate Memorial Literary Society in 1897, way after the war. The society contacted Virginia Railroad executives, asked them to erect markers at historically significant sites along their lines. The president of the of the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad embraced the proposal, but rather than simply erecting a sign, he constructed a stone pyramid modeled after the memorial of the unknown Confederate dead buried in Richmond's Hollywood Cemetery. This monument marks the point where General George G. Meade's Union Division penetrated the boggy gap in Stonewall Jackson's lines on December 13, 1862. Over the years, this has become known as the Meade Pyramid. The monument is not accessible. Sounds like a train. Looky there. Obviously, it's now like Amtrak. CSX actually. Look at that. I'm a South Carolina lawyer and had been an early and ardent proponent of secession. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll stop at these big placards. I might have to walk a bit to get to them because there's many cars, and of course we're all still trying to social distance here in Virginia. So a lot of people are doing their walks and walking their dogs and riding bikes and that kind of thing, so there may not be anybody really close to the cars. But I do want to get out and show you this big placard here. Hopefully there's a place to park. Yeah, there is right there. Or maybe we'll just sit here and look at it. Just sit here. Okay, December 13th, 1862, here in the Lansdowne Valley, Longstreet's right flank joined with Stonewall Jackson's left. Confederate infantry was deployed on the valley floor and cannon rimmed the hills behind. Oops, sorry. Forming a deep pocket in the Confederate line. During mid-afternoon, units of Bodie Smith's 6th Corps moved up the valley of Deep Run to attack the Confederate in this area. Federal skirmishes advanced to the railroad, but were forced back to their original position by Law's Brigade of Hood's division. So there you go. United States Department, there's somebody walking back there. United States Department of the Interior, National Park Services. Do not leave valuables in your vehicles. There we go. Fredericksburg Campaign. We are going to head back home. So that's our history lesson for today, you guys. A little bit of information about the Battle of Fredericksburg during the year of 1862 here in Fredericksburg, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Very historic. As I said, we live in a very historic town, and I need to educate myself better about these battlefields. As I told you, we have Barb and Dawn coming to visit with us this summer. So we will be taking them all through the battlefields, and Don will probably be educating us because he does Civil War reenactments. And they live in California and they do Civil War reenactments over there. So I think he's going to love it over here. I think he's been around this area. I'm not sure he's been in all of the battlefields, but anyway, that's it for today. So, as we make our way back out to the main road here and then on back home to our house, I'll just say once again that I hope all is well with everyone. And again, keep looking up, keep your chins up, wash your hands, social distance, all that good stuff. And until next time, as we look at this really pretty white dogwood, like I said, that is our state flower, and this tree is indigenous here to Virginia. Trees like that. Y'all take good care. Bye-bye.